Welcome, everybody, and good evening. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome here to the Sports Talk Network, and welcome here to Steve's Wrestling Ramble. We're in the future. We are not just going to be talking WWE, we'll be talking other companies as well. But tonight is predictions, as you can see by the title of the video, obviously. WWE 2018 Hell in the Cell, predicting the shows going over Raw and SmackDown. Abbreviated, since they will be brought up as we're going to the matches, the pay-per-views, and who we think is going to win. I'd like to welcome my co-host currently, Clackman. Hopefully others on the team are able to join in, but for right now, it's me and Mr. Clackman. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, man. I can't wait to get some wrestling news. Let's do this.
Yes, let's go. Talking about Hell in the Cell and talking about the build to this pay-per-view. First thing first, what are your expectations heading into Hell in the Cell?
My expectations are absolutely no blood, completely family friendly. Jeff Hardy jumping up something really high, and then being out of action for a month. I think the Becky and Charlotte match will end in the schmaz, aka no winner. There will, I expect to be bored with some segments. I expect them to be pushing the WWE Evolution pay-per-view on Hell in a Cell. So yeah, that's what I expect.
I expect, well, at least for me, heading into the pay-per-view, the match that I think is going to be match of the night, that I think is going to be best above the rest, is the Charlotte Flair Becky Lynch match. And as they say, the friends outside the ring make great rivalries in the ring, no matter what company we're talking about. And here's WWE. I think that one's going to tear the house down. And I think that one will even do better than the Shield versus versus Ziggler McIntyre, or Reigns versus Strowman, or any of the other matches obviously on the card. So I think that one for me is going to be the match I'm most looking forward to. And overall, as a pay-per-view, it's going to be okay. And I would say heading into it, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. We'll see what grading I give it.
Anticipation wise, I give it like a 6. Yeah, 6 as well. But sometimes when you do these pay-per-views with like lower expectations, it blows you out of the water. Like I think it was Backlash. I think it was like Backlash, something like that, where like it was like really low on expectations, then it was really good. And then on the other side of the coin, there you had the hype up so high.
No, Clarkman left, and no, I didn't do it. I didn't kick him out. I wanted him to be here. Unfortunately, he's not here for a few seconds. He was talking about the expectations and talking about Hell in the Cell. Hopefully, he's able to rejoin and continue his thoughts. But for me, the Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, the shows themselves, they were all right. I think SmackDown Live did it better than Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw for a go-home show was pretty bad. And it was telling for my viewers, and I thank you for those that voted on my Raw Insta polls, my SmackDown Insta poll as well for this week, the go-home shows. SmackDown Live, I think, was finished off with good as the winner. It's great, good, okay, or terrible. SmackDown Live finished off with the most votes with good, and for Raw was terrible with most votes going there. So again, thanks to those that actually vote, and I would appreciate it if any of you awesome people did retweet that, after the shows are over. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at @TheRamble_WWE. Follow Clackman on Twitter at Clackoff there. But hopefully he'll be able to rejoin us quick, fast, in a hurry. But anyways, I'll continue on here talking about Hell in the Cell, talking about the pay-per-view. I mean, that's pretty much what we're talking about here for this pay-per-view. And going over the matches and predicting them one by gosh darn, one bottom to top. And, I'm going to wait a little bit until Clarkman can come back before any of my other teammates are able to join me here tonight to talk about this interesting pay-per-view. I respectfully call it a fine pay-per-view because I certainly am looking forward to at least seeing how it does. Also, I've been catching up and watching some Impact Wrestling. Clarkman, who does and has for a very long time. I've actually been impressed with the action that I've seen, especially the Knockouts division, the women's division, and Impact, comparable to the WWE's women's division. But that be what that be. Let me just check here to see if he's able to rejoin us. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole before he lets me know if he's able to return to action, return to the excuse me, sorry about that, return to the show. Hopefully he is. Hopefully it's also some other team members of mine are able to as well. I also want to promote I'm playing this game on Twitter. It's called Who Done It. On Twitter at 2018 Who Done It. Specifically, just a game based off the TV show Who Done It ABC. I think Clackman is back.
Yeah, there was a issue over there with that RAM or whatever, but I'm fine now. Okay, good.
All right.
What you talking about, buddy?
No, I was actually just talking about the game I'm playing with the Who Done It, but I was going to ask you if you remember where you were leaving off, talking about anticipation and.
Yeah, it was. It's pretty average-ish because they didn't put a lot of effort into the go home shows. So, I've seen so many cool cage matches, in the past couple of weeks now, where they use the cage and it's all bloody. The mat is bloody. Blood's literally leaking out of someone's head, and just extreme stuff with toes and feet and fucking tongues and whatever. And then you see this nonsense, and I'm like, oh, it's WWE's Hell in a Cell? Oh boy. So that's my outsider perspective going in there. And plus, WWE has a history of not, currently have a history of not really doing Hell in a Cell matches correct. I can't remember the last good one they had. That people were like, whoa, good match, man. Maybe like Owens and Strowman. That was a good one. Or was that a regular cage match? I don't know. But the best Hell in a Cell match I think in recent memory was New Day versus the Usos. That was a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
They used
I think it's just
really well.
And I think it's also just the era that we're in with how and why Hell in a Cell pay-per-views and matches and all that other stuff are just not how it used to be, how we remember it or how I remember it in the good old days. Sound like I'm an older person, but good old days of the Attitude Era and stuff, having more of that, more blood, more actual carnage, craziness, on the edge of your feet during the whole entire match, wondering what's going to happen next. And you could put any wrestler in there. I'm not just saying because you had top wrestlers in the matches, but even if you had mid-carders in the match, or otherwise, Hell in a Cell matches still would have been, would have been awesome at that time. So again, my point being is the era that we are in now, and with WWE being public and all the other stuff and shareholders and other people they have to appease and all the demographics that they, try to oblige to, children, adults, older, this and that, because there is a large spectrum of viewers of WWE. Because heck, I know one person that I was talking about, to give WWE a chance and watch it again because he used to when he was younger, like I did, and he said he tried to watch some of it and thought it was all right, but it still was a little bit too racy or raunchy to him for his family, and he wasn't going to watch it. So I was like, oh, okay, well, do you remember how it was when you were a kid, sort of thing,
Yeah, you're right.
But either way, it is what that is, and I understand that. But just for how things are now and how things were then, I don't think, unless WWE has to with a company bearing down on them, i.e. like WCW, which spawned the Attitude Era, I don't think there will be another Attitude Era, at least in my lifetime, on having that type of awesomeness again in specifically Hell in a Cell matches. But I agree with you with the Go Home show, because I was talking about that while you were gone. I have my Raw Insta polls and SmackDown Insta poll after the show on my Twitter, and for this week, my audience for Raw, it ended with terrible winning for the show, and for SmackDown Live, it was good. So each week when I do it, it's great to good to okay or terrible for your options and what you thought of the show. So again, for Raw, the voting ended up with terrible winning, and for SmackDown Live, it ended with good winning. So that is my audience's perspective of Raw and SmackDown Live. So I guess with me sharing that stuff and rambling about that, what are your thoughts on that with my fans' perspective of Raw and SmackDown Live this week?
I 100% agree with him. A lot of Raw didn't make a lot of sense storyline-wise. And honestly, when I was looking at Raw, when I was doing a reaction to Raw Live, it never felt to me like it was a go-home show at all. It never felt to me that one. I only knew it was a go-home show when they did some product placement at the end of the show when Braun Strowman threw Roman into the stage area with the lights, and it said Hell in a Cell this week. That's the only way I knew. That's the only way. If it didn't feel like a go-home show, because there was like a big, pull apart nonsense or brawl at the beginning of the show, just like last week.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't feel any different than any other week. And then you get the nonsense with AOP and Drake Maverick again. And then another 205 Live guy is there with Bobby Lashley for some reason. And Owens is beating up somebody like from behind again. It didn't feel any different. It just felt like a regular Raw. It didn't feel like anything special. And then that's why people thought SmackDown was okay, because they did a better job at making you feel like it was a go-home show. I mean, like, how many times does AJ Styles talk in an empty arena to the camera? Never. That felt different, but it felt special.
Yeah, and as for Raw, with Drake Maverick. With Drake Maverick, as I said last week, put him in a suit. Don't have him keep trying to look like AOP. I know the idea is, for people to understand he's the manager. Well, we know that. So put him in a suit.
The blonde hair kind of gives it away, buddy.
He's going to talk around the mic. So you have Drake Maverick. You have Leo Rush to be with, or rather to actually be with Bobby Lashley. Again, that interestingness there. Then you had Drew Gulak, who was part of the Brawl last week and this week, or out there this week as well. So you have a couple of 205 Live personnel on Monday Night Raw. So it's less up, because I know some people are wondering, is WWE trying to have 205 Live, coming back and reimbursed with Raw? No, totally. And I think no, it's just these specific talents coming to Raw from their 205 home that they want to utilize on the Raw brand. So it's not just all 205 Live. That's not happening. Next week, we're not getting 205 Live segment like we used to when it was with Raw. That's not coming back. As I wanted, and as I said weeks ago or months ago, and whatever that was, Cruiserweight Division should be on its own show, should have its own thing, should try to grow organically there. Whether people will like it or love it or not, that's each person's opinion. But I think for me, it would have a better chance to grow, to thrive, to be something if it was its own show. So it could be able to show all the talents of that Cruiserweight division on its own show against each other, and being a high-flying of awesomeness that I actually do enjoy that style of wrestling, going all the way back to the late Eddie Guerrero and those wrestlers, Rey Mysterio and otherwise. But currently with the 205 Live superstars there, being on 205 Live, having their own thing, that was best for business. That was good, and that was smart to do, because having them on Raw, being, in a sense, as a division buried, being on that Raw program, yes, you're on the flagship show, but on the times that you were actually on segment and on show, it just didn't feel right. And even if things were happening in those matches, some of the fans were already out of it because of whatever else stuff going on around. They're already not caring. So even if the things are trying to happen, there's not enough of that to get people's juices going. So to have them on their own show was best for them. And I'm glad I actually at least got something right in my forward thinking. Having Cruiserweight Division on 205 Live, thriving over there, been doing better, has improved each and every week, and I've certainly enjoyed it. And do watch it every single week on the WWE Network.
Let me ask you a question about the 205 Live and integration into Raw. Do you think that the WWE should have had a logistic story reason for them to be on Raw with these people instead of just randomly showing up? Because the week beforehand on 205 Live, there was no hint or mention or anything of the sort of them coming to Raw. It was just, hey, how about we get some 205 Live guys to be with this guy or this team this week? Okay.
Right, I didn't mind it with the Drake Maverick thing. Like, I thought that was a nice surprise. Again, put him in a suit, blah, blah, blah. But just with him showing up being with AOP, I was fine with that and all right with that. A little less with Leo Rush. But the Drew Gulak thing, even though Drew Gulak's my boy, he's one of my favorites in the Cruiserweight division, I think his should have had more explanation of why he's joining all the Raw heels and attacking the Shield, and then being back again this past week for that opening segment outside the ring as a lackey, really, to the New Raw Tag Team Champions and such, along with AOP and such, which is its own interesting thing. But specifically with these NXT or 205 Live talents, I think that Drake Maverick, okay, didn't really need that explanation. I liked seeing him as a surprise there. Okay, cool, he's now managing AOP. Leo Rush, a little bit less, and then even more or less with Drew Gulak, more explanation. But for me personally, as a fan of his and a fan side of it, awesome to see him on TV wherever I can, let alone 205 Live. I thought he was going to be the Cruiserweight champion a couple months ago. But either way, that's how I feel with explaining it. I was totally okay with one, less with the other, and even more so less to have at least some explanation for Drew Gulak being part of the heel crew attacking the Shield.
It's kind of funny if you think about it. You have these 205 Live guys essentially being quote unquote mascots for the larger WWE guys. That's essentially what I believe that WWE Creative thinks they are for them. And what's happening outside the bubble per se is you have Austin Aries, a 205 Live guy who's the champion in many, many organizations out there and can legit beat anybody no matter what the size. Moose is like 275, 6'5", can do basically everything Austin Aries can do. And he beat him cleanly in the middle of the ring because Austin Aries is better. He tricked him out there. He beat him, rolled him up there. He won. So these 205 Live guys not being on the quote-unquote level of the male guys is always bullshit to me, because you're supposed to be a creative company and you can't make a good match between the smaller guys and the larger guys, because like The Miz beat Roman Reigns on the Raw 25 show last year, or was it this year? Raw 25. And how did he beat Roman Reigns, the undefeatable big dog? He had him make a mistake, put his own speared him into a corner with a metal plate or whatever, rolled him up 1, 2, 3. Simple. On paper, Miz should not be beating Roman Reigns. But if you make Roman make a critical error, it makes sense. That kind of stuff happens in real life. In case WWE never heard of a flash knockdown in boxing, that's when you hit a very key spot on someone's face and you get knocked out. Doesn't matter what size you are. You get in that spot there, you get knocked out. Same thing happens in all the sports. If your rib is your weak spot, you get KO'd. Your chin is your weak spot, you get KO'd. Same thing in wrestling. Same thing happens. One spot that gets hit wrong, you get messed up. But WWE never sees it that way. They see small and big, like children, and that's what I never understood. Every other company understands that no matter what size you are, you put on a good show. You put on a good show. And what they could be doing is putting Drew Gulak on there with his compatriots, Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher. They could put them as a stable together, and you could put them up against other similar tag teams and have interference and have them cause chaos or riot, if you will, and cause like distractions, and have them be on the show there, and then via fluke victory, maybe Drew Gulak is the Intercontinental Champion. You never know. Just you can make it happen because you're supposed to be thinking outside the box per se, and making it so these guys can get over using their own unique shenanigans. But WWE doesn't think that way.
And then think of the storyline you have moving forward of Drew Gulak being the Intercontinental Champion, though still part of the Cruiserweight division, part of 205 Live specifically, but he won a Cruiserweight title, or not Cruiserweight title, Intercontinental Championship on Raw, let alone especially if he beat Seth Rollins.
I love that on 205 Live, they make mentions of them being on Raw when they're on 205 Live. Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy were making fun of Drake Maverick being on Raw, and then Drake Maverick said, "Hey, you know what? How about I give the AOP a call?" I'm like, no, we're good. And Leo Rush is getting a bigger head now because he's on Raw now with Bobby Lashley. I like the integration between that. That's good stuff. That I like. That's cool.
And if you think about the only little guys that WWE wants to push or give that chance, like you're talking about, they should with the Cruiserweight division superstars, is only going to be, at least for now, Finn Balor or Daniel Bryan being the little ones, little engines that could and defeat the big bad guys. Big, bad monsters, whatever.
Hold on. You know what'd be really cool? Now that we're getting the whole 205 Live thing on Raw, what would be cool is what if someone feuding with Jinder Mahal brought in Mustafa Ali to go against Jinder Mahal? Oh, we're Indian. We're supposed to be together. No. You make Indians look bad. Oh, that'd be so good. Just bring Raw that way there, and you could put him like in a tag team match. Let's just say, I don't know, Bobby Lashley and Mustafa Ali or whatever against Jinder Mahal and Singh, like in tag team match. We can get some cruiserweight stuff in there, some double team stuff there. They could very interesting stuff instead of like being the rah stuff, that they're currently doing now.
Right.
They could make it work, but yeah, WWE so.
And it seemed like for Monday Night Raw, for a go-home show, it's supposed to be the Hell in a Cell. You're supposed to be promoting that. You're supposed to be getting people more and more interested and amped up, whether you're going to or not. But still, that's your job to try to get people more amped up for Hell in a Cell. You're talking more about a Super Showdown in Melbourne, Australia, with Triple H, and then next week The Undertaker's coming back. So okay, and the Evolution pay-per-view for the women. I mean, it's great and awesome and good to talk about it, but how about we wait until after Hell in a Cell happens? How about we actually have our pay-per-view that we're building to? Yes, it's a B-level pay-per-view, but still care about it. Like I've been trying to say for years, care about your B-level pay-per-views, your other lower, your mid-card, lower-level pay-per-views, to try to build them up and be something special. The
problem is there's too many. There's too many. Thanos needs to come in there, snap his fingers, and get rid of half the pay-per-view lineup. Just snap his fingers. Just get it done. Because there's too many. There's too many to build up on, and the storylines are weak because there's only a couple of weeks build in between.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no real like thing. I mean, I remember like Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns had like 3 weeks after WrestleMania. It was like 3 weeks until the Best of Both Worlds thing, and we're supposed to care. Like all of a sudden, Samoa Joe has an issue with Roman Reigns, and we're supposed to buy it. No, it doesn't work that way, buddy. Like the stuff with Daniel Bryan and The Miz there has been going on for like years, and that's why people care about that one. You can't just do this kind of nonsense. If you think outside the bubble per se, in Ring of Honor, Bully Ray has been tormenting a lot of younger talent, but Colt Cabana has issue with that one. But Colt Cabana has not had a one-on-one match with Bully Ray like for a couple of months now, maybe 2-3 months or so. When it finally does happen, it's a big deal. So they're not just rushing it out there. Like in WWE terms, it will be like, oh, you have a problem with me? Like 2 weeks of pay-per-view is going to be me and you fight, because they have a pay-per-view every single month. The indies per se take their time and build up to a good match. You don't just have a good match because they have a little bit of beef in between. Yeah.
Right, let it just simmer and, cook and, get to that point, let it build and actually build to whatever event or everything is next for that company. Then to have things like WWE with quick couple of weeks later, you have your next pay-per-view event. But still was out to me with Raw here, talking more about the Super Show and Evolution and building that up in a sense more than they were trying or supposed to be building up for Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell is coming up this Sunday. You would think that's your priority on Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown Live did a little bit better.
Yeah,
but
they're building up the Super Show at the same time as Hell in a Cell. So it's hard for I think any viewer to understand what's more important. Is it Hell in a Cell or is it the Super Show?
Especially the past couple of weeks with regards to Undertaker Triple H specifically. So that in its own thing beyond just the whole event, where I think I saw already 10 matches already announced, and there was leaks for the Evolution events of card and everything. Because I did see that video of yours over on your channel about it.
Yeah, man. What you think of that card, man? We never talked about it before. Like, what do you think of that card?
If that card is true to be, that's actually going to be the Evolution card.
They can change it, but like close to it. They can change it, obviously, but like if the card stays the way it is, yeah, you're right. So what do you think?
If the card stays the same, then things do need to change and things need to be edited. Like, I don't know, we have a new women's tag team title that's going to be coming, right? It looks like from on that card that early in the show is going to be that big announcement. Then the big announcement is going to be of the tag team titles.
Correct. Yeah.
I do think they should have said this earlier, because I do think, I know people don't like that, oh, they promote it so much, blah, blah, blah. You know, I know we just got finished talking about that on SmackDown, not promoting the pay-per-view, we're talking about other things. But I think for Evolution, yes, I know it sucked for some people, Stephanie McMahon coming out there again, but making the announcement that at Evolution, we're going to have the tag team titles, they are happening. Maybe not announcing yet who's in the match, but announcing that already. Okay, so at least for me, I actually would have wanted that way. I know some people will be bashing me for that because reasons, you know, Stephanie McMahon and whatever nonsense, that stuff. But me, I think I would have liked it that way. So that's what I think is going to happen at Evolution. That's going to be the special announcement. So later on,
they do that a lot. They announce titles at the show itself there, so the viewers don't get a chance to think about it. So I do think that segment will be the announcement of the tag team titles, because it's all about the women, yada yada, tag team title nonsense. If you do it on Raw or SmackDown or whatever, it'll be Raw because they love Raw. It'll be announced on Raw beforehand. It'll be like, okay. But the thing is about that card. That card is so stupid, it has to be real. Nobody with a functioning brain would think, hey, let's put in Natalya and Beth Phoenix as a contender for the Women's Tag Team Championship instead of the Riot Squad or Bayley and Sasha. That's so stupid.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to too, because I was, like I said, I watched your video, and that's where I'm agreeing with you exactly there with the tag team titles. You have this, and you're going to have Kelly with a team with Fox, with Alicia Fox and Kelly, and then you're also having, like you said there, with Natalya and Beth. Okay, that's fine having them a team. You know, they are friends in real life. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but to have them in contention for this new women's tag team title,
separate them. Have Kelly and Alicia. Separate them. Have Alicia Fox and Kelly fight Beth and Natalya in a separate exhibition match.
That's what I was exactly going to say. Yes, that's what I was saying. Having them just in a tag team match, whether people would have liked that or not, but still just have that be a match on the card, so them to still be on the card, and put in the Boston Hug Connection and put in the Riot Squad, put true contenders for all four to be continues, to make it of a situation where something that I like in most of the WWE universe, I would assume like, and that's the unpredictability of predicting a match, and unpredictability of predicting that match would be higher if you had those two teams along with the other teams that are announced for their being one of them being the Iconics, if I remember correctly there. Other words, some interesting add-ons. You have Melina there.
I think it's a one-on-one match. I think she's a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
Like Asuka versus Ember Moon, they would do that. They would do that. I think a better tag team championships for the pay-per-view would be, like I said, Riot Squad, one of the two members there, Baysha, them. You put in Mickie James, and either, if they don't want to, be better it'd be more unpredictable if they did it this way. Mm-hmm. Mickie James and Alexa Bliss for the tag team championship, if they were in there, versus Mickie James and Alicia Flux, that'd be better. And then a wild card tag team from NXT.
Oh, okay. I like that with Mickie James and the goddess of WWE, Alexa Bliss, having that team, because I, as a big fan of Bliss, wouldn't be having an issue with that, because Bliss already getting her rematch here at Hell in the Cell, probably will lose to Ronda. Really didn't need another title match at the Women's Pay-Per-View, so put her in that tag team opportunity. And again, unpredictability. I try to stress this a lot. That's what I want for my pay-per-views. For when I have these prediction shows, with whether it's just with Clackman or with 9 other people that have a full house in the Google Hangout, it's unpredictable all the way, with each person predicting different things for each and every match. And don't worry, we'll get to the predictions here. But it's just, that's what I would want for every single pay-per-view. And yes, I know that's crazy to think that it will happen, but I hope that for every pay-per-view to have each and every match, or at least most of the matches on that pay-per-view, to be unpredictable, to be it could go any way. It could not only just go any way within the superstars in that match, but it'll go any way as well in the finish of the match of whoever wins.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
how it's going to build moving forward and all that other stuff as well. So that's what I hope to have each and every month. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So with Evolution, and specifically with that women's tag team title, I'm happy it is there. I wanted it to be there. Awesome. And I know people have been saying, especially to people that are Sasha Banks fans, that that are whining or bitching and complaining about Sasha's spot in WWE currently, that Sasha Banks is going to be the new women, one half of the new women's tag team champions. Just wait, just wait. I've seen it on other YouTubers' comments and on their channels and their videos that are Sasha Banks fans, and they're just telling them to, telling that person to wait. They're going to do this, and now if that's specifically they're not in the match and she's not in that match.
What do you think of this? What do you think of this? For the first ever WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match, Riot Squad versus Beisha versus the Iconics versus the Bella Twins.
Ooh, Bella Twins. Interesting. I like it, and obviously the reason that's not going to happen because you have Nikki going to be facing Ronda Rousey.
Oh, just fantasy booking.
Yeah. No, fantasy booking. I like it. I like it, love it, and want some more of it. It seems pretty awesome.
We don't need Nikki in the main event. Come on, we don't need Nikki there. No, it doesn't make any sense.
And I don't think we need Brie in a ring. So
I've never seen worse suicide dives in my life. I've seen some really bad ones where like they literally plant on their face. That was close to it, and she did it twice. I'm like, didn't your husband tell you how to do that? Because he's really good at doing that. What the?
You think you would have been practicing with your husband?
And who okayed that? Who okayed you to do those suicide dives? Like what agent? What trainer said? You know what? You're good. You're good. Or did Nikki and Brie like pull the Bella card and say, I don't need your help?
No, I think Brie pulled the Daniel Bryan card of, you're going to okay this because this is my husband's move, and Daniel Bryan is making your company money. You better not also release him. You're going to resign him. So now that make Daniel Bryan happy, you're going to let me go out there and do that move.
Wow.
Or you're going to let me go out there and do that move.
Never do that again. Do something else. Practice doing like a running dropkick to the outside while you hang on the ropes. Hardly anybody does that. Do that instead. Because suicide dives is not your thing. Because it takes two to tango, and if the other person is not ready, it's not going to look good. It's not going to look good. I think the best way to do that is kind of like Big E and just like do a crossbody block, is something through the ropes instead of like landing head first into your opponent. Just like do a crossbody block instead. That's safer that way. It's easier to do too. Yeah.
Speaking of Big E, that was funny the other week when he was trying to do the spin-a-rooney.
Oh. He doesn't really need help, but it was funny either way. It was funny.
Yeah, no, it was just comical there individually. But yeah. Anyways, with the Evolution card, if the card is exactly as that leaked one is and doesn't leak or change, then no.
you can see why they're having trouble selling seats now. You can see why, right?
But then again, I was, to be honest, not to, lie to myself or lie to my viewers. I really was, and in a way, still am highly hoping that it's going to do well, that it's going to be awesome to have more of these shows, and because they can create good shows, especially if WWE wants to make this first one of the women's first ever pay-per-view event to go off not only without a hitch in general, but to go off to have great matches and all matches.
Oh my God!
Great matches. That's what I'm hoping that to be.
I just got a great idea.
Successful.
I just got a great idea, man. It came to me right now.
Now it's epiphany. Okay.
What do you think? Yeah, epiphany, exactly. What do you think about this? What would happen if Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Morgan had a match, and all of a sudden Sarah Logan gets jumped by a mysterious person? The mysterious person that takes her place is Nikki Cross. And now Sarah Logan's written out of storylines because she sucks anyway. She's written out of storyline. She's gone from the company. Now it's crazy little cute little Liv Morgan. You got goth girl over there, and you got like cocaine fiend over there, Nikki Cross there, to make the new Riot Squad.
Oh my God, that would be. I mean, again, fantasy booking wise, that'd be awesome. I certainly would enjoy. And you would have that have Nikki Cross on Raw. Sanity, they're not really going to do anything much with, anyways. If you have Nikki Cross come up to be with Sanity to try to save what they already messed up with how they booked and used Sanity being called up, at least in my eyes, then it's only going to not help her. That's the short story of it. So to have her go on to be with the Riot Squad over on Raw, I think that'd be epic, especially the way that you even brought up of how that would come about.
Yeah, she got like the usual thing, like she got beat up backstage. She's on the ground, laid out there. Nobody knows who did it, and then all of a sudden, it's known to be, they asked me, right? Do you know who did it? Yeah, I know who did it. Oh, who? The new member of my squad. And then she comes out there, all the shit like a dog. Yeah, she new member of her. Wait, are you saying this the new member of the Riot Squad? Yep. And what's with Sarah Logan? She's out. And that's the way it comes out there. That's how it's done. That's WWE style. That's what they would do. But
Right.
yeah, that's how I do that one. Or they can add her to the mix if they want to add her to the mix. There, that's cool too. So they got options. It could be one of the first 4-woman group that's always on TV. That'd be interesting. But you saw what Nikki Cross did with EST, Bianca Belair on NXT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, some good fucking matches with those two. I mean, like I was like, this can be a damn good match here, and like it started out good there. The anticipation was good there. That the ending was good. Everything was good about that match. Everything, like there was little things in between there. Like I don't know if I should get near you. I like when you hit me. There was a lot of cool things in that match there, and I like Nikki Cross's style because it's different than anything else you see out there. You don't see people like hanging on people like a backpack. What is that nonsense? And it's just like so different and unique. So I really like Nikki Cross's style. So hopefully they keep that when she gets called up.
Exactly. And as I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, I am highly anticipating and looking forward to, and hopefully WWE main roster doesn't screw this up. But I am highly looking forward to whenever this happens, Bianca Belair coming to the main roster, because I think she can do great things. So just wanted to share that nugget of interesting things.
If she's with Naomi, I'm changing channels.
Yeah, think about that entrance.
I'm changing. Ooh, double the glow. Like you got Bianca Belair spinning her hair around with glow on the end there. Maybe that could work. I'm liking that. All right.
Yeah.
With the women's tag team championship things coming out there, you need more women in there. You have a lot of women from the Mae Young Classic. You can do things with that. My thing is, what I would absolutely do is do something that they never do. The winner of the first ever women's tag team championship, they should do with that one what they should have did with the WWE championship. The winner gets to go on any show that they feel like it. Any challenger anybody can challenge for them, but it's up to the champion to accept. And then they can go on both shows or whatever and tease competition for the future. And they can, they can do a lot of things with a women's tag championships going between both shows. And that'll make it extra. That'll make it special. That'll make it unique because no one in the company can cross brands. So if you want to go on both shows, you need to be the WWE Women's Champion, Tag Team Champion. That'd be great.
Excuse me. Yes, that would be, and especially more so, let alone with Raw, but for NXT. Excuse me.
But do they have the creative skills? Do they have the creative skills to keep it interesting every week like that? I don't think they do. If they can't do it with the men, what they can do with the women? What is Sandy doing over there on SmackDown? What are they doing over there? They're jobbing out. They don't have promos. I mean, Bludgeon Brothers, they used to have promos. Now they don't do promos anymore. They're pushing New Day. They stopped pushing the Usos. They're pushing Rusev Day, which is a surprise. I'm actually surprised by that. But other than that, they're not really pushing tag teams in a lot of ways.
And that's why some people have also been saying in regards to the women's division that they should have their own shows, like the Cruiserweight division now has a 205 Live. Do they have enough women now? No. But if you do call more of the women up in NXT, yes, you're pillaging that roster, but then you are signing those from the Mae Young Classic, those at Triple H or others, are signing from the independents and bringing them into the Performance Center. I mean, I'm sure they already have a big group of women at the Performance Center, because I'm sure there's many more that I would even know that are technically there and training. So yes, you're pillaging the NXT roster of women to have this new this new big division, this new actual women's only show in a sense. But I think that actually would benefit, especially if you're going to have a women's tag team title. And instead of, as much as I do like the idea of floating with the shows. In my opinion, I think what also be best is for them then to have that on their own shows and have an actual division, and have subsequent amount of tag teams to make it work. Yes, but just in general, as the idea. Verbatim, that I think that would be best for business, for the women's division, for women, this whole evolution thing everybody's spinning and all this other stuff, that I think that would be great to have their own, have their show, be like 205 Live.
Give me the pen.
Flourish over there, women's division flourishes on whatever that show is.
Give me the pen. Give me the pen, and I will write a great women's tag team division. I got so many ideas going through my head right now to make that thing pop and great. I mean, like EST with Naomi sounds great. Yeah, Iconics are good. Maybe they can get like a third person to do a Freebird rule with them. Maybe we can get Dakota Kai turning heel or turning a new gimmick and becoming or more goth or emo and teaming her up with Nikki Cross instead.
And
so the Riot Squad can keep doing their own thing. It can be Nikki Cross and Dakota Kai. Yeah, what's up, man?
No, I was just gonna say. Then for me, I would have Kairi Sane and Asuka as a tag team.
Kairi Sane and Asuka, that'd be good there too. That the communication thing, that'd be great there. Nakamura's a manager. Why the fuck not? Ooh. There's a lot of things you can do. Let me see here. You can have Lacey Evans, like Miss Women's Rights, team Stephanie McMahon. About like bosses in their division. Like there's a lot of things you can do. A lot of things you can do with that one. Shayna Baszler teaming me up with who would? What if like Dakota Kai goes with Shayna Baszler after all the bullying that they did to each other?
Just have Lita come back for a short stint, be with a tag team, and since Matt Hardy's not wrestling anymore, he's a manager with them.
They're putting Lita in a singles match according to the leak sheet against Lita against who? Yeah, wait, I think it's got the paper. But she's in a singles match, and my thing was put Lita and Trish together, best friends, versus Bayley and Sasha, best friends there. That makes more sense than putting in a random singles match. I think Lita, Mickie James. There you go, Mickie James.
Okay.
Yeah, Lita versus Mickie James there. All cool and stuff there, but I don't know if that's the best course of action for the future of your company right there. So Bayley and Sasha would be against Trish and Lita if it wasn't for like them being put into the tag team championship thing that night there. So like maybe they can do that one, or maybe Mickie and Trish versus Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. So we have Trish and Lita versus Alexa and Mickie James instead of having like one-on-one singles matches. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. That would be a match that I would put on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so back to Hell in a Cell stuff there. Like, how did Raw do for getting you hyped for Hell in a Cell, or did you just go like meh after it was over?
I was just like, why did I even watch Raw? Why did that even matter? Why did that 3 hours of my life matter if they're not going to focus on actually promoting to their pay-per-view events? Like, I have other things I could do, and I really did do while that was going on. I was preparing for my game thing on Twitter while I was watching Raw. I was just doing other things, and it just was, SmackDown Live, I at least was watching and enjoying and such like that. So it was a good to pretty good, at least to my eyes, show as a final show heading into Hell in a Cell. But for Raw, it is what it is, of nonsense and going there. So I guess we'll actually finally get to predicting Hell in a Cell each and every match. And let's start with the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the New Day versus Rusev Day. So who do you have in
New Day?
New Day? Yeah,
it'll be a good fight. New Day. New Day's new champions. Not going to drop the belt off of them that quick thing. Nah, it'll be nice if Rusev Day wins, but New Day.
I'm going with the New Day too as well to successfully defend their title with a clean pin There, 1, 2, 3. Next one is the Raw Tag Team title. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre battling against The Shield, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Who do you have winning there?
Dogs of War.
All right. For me, I have The Shield winning, but via disqualification, so they will not be winning the Raw Tag Team Championships, but I do have them winning, announced as the winners via disqualification. Ziggler and McIntyre do some sneaky shit and technically retain their titles and keep their titles and get to leave the arena as Raw Tag Team Champions. But
remember, the Shield is the #1 faction of all wrestling of all time, according to WWE Instagram.
And I know, right? I mean, they're awesome. I love them. But Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maryse in tag team action. Not in Hell in a Cell match, but Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maryse. Who do you have there?
Daniel Bryan and Brie, because they've been getting beat down by Miz and Maryse all these weeks. So I think in a tag match, it doesn't matter. Nice little feel-good moment for the Yes couple. So I think they're gonna win.
Yeah. They even have a team T-shirt now, Yes Mode T-shirts. But
that's cool. That's cool. That makes sense. That's it.
Yeah, that was cute. But me, I'm going Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella as well. Makes more sense. Miz getting the win at SummerSlam against Daniel Bryan 1-on-1. So here in this tag team action, Daniel Bryan and Brie getting the win. I see Brie Bella pinning Maryse to get the win. 1, 2, 3 there.
How was the match between Maryse and Brie on SmackDown? I didn't see it. I know it in the schmoz, but did they actually wrestle?
They wrestled for a little bit, not too long. Then it went right into the stuff. Extra. Okay. But I think that was obviously done for a reason to save actual competition between the two individually when we get to Hell in a Cell. Moving right along, SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. 1-on-1 there. Who do you have winning there?
Charlotte.
Same here, Charlotte Flair to retain. I'm hearing that they're going to have this match again at the Super Show there in Melbourne. Moving right along, Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell. 1-on-1. Who do you have there?
Orton.
I'm going Randall Keith Orton as well. Randy Orton. Hardy going off the top of the cell, trying to get to Orton. Orton jumping up, catching RKO. Ring 1, 2, 3, boom.
Yeah, Orton has not had a lot of big wins since he turned heel. This will be his first big win for turning heel. It should be a good match though. So I think it'll be a really good match. So some highlight reels to be sure in this match. So I think there's gonna be some good stuff there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I'm moving right along the Raw Women's Championship match. Ronda Rousey versus the beautiful and awesome Alexa Bliss. I'll go first here. I have Ronda Rousey winning. Yes, I am obviously a big fan of Bliss, but I don't see her winning back her championship. As we talked about earlier, it would be awesome to have her in that first ever women's tag team title that will be coming up and have her in that match with Mickie James. But so far, that's not going to be the case. But Ronda Rousey defeating Alexa Bliss. Who do you have in that match?
Ronda's not losing until WrestleMania.
There we go. WWE Championship match. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. I really enjoyed the builds to this match, and part of me wants Joe to win, but I think WWE wants Styles to hold the title for a good long time, not just because he's the cover boy of the game, but I think to have him pass CM Punk. So CM Punk is not only passed by Brock Lesnar with the Universal title, but passed by AJ Styles with the WWE title. So he's not even #1 on that end of WWE championships in the modern era, or WWE champion in the modern era there for both main titles.
Did you see the WWE 2K19 gameplay trailer today?
No, I didn't see that yet. Okay. How was it, or how did it look?
Meh.
Okay. Well, I'll take a look at it later. But no, AJ Styles, I have AJ Styles defeating Samoa Joe. What say you?
AJ's not losing until the game comes out. That's probably what the executive decision is. He's not losing until the game comes out. The week after the game comes out there, he drops it on SmackDown. Watch.
I see AJ Styles holding that title until he passes CM Punk, and the night after, week after, whatever after, pay-per-view after.
They would never do that. Never. They've never done that ever before. They would never make someone win for a long time and then a week after they break the record and lose. No, they would never do that.
Doesn't even cross their minds.
No, they would no. That's
And
just
the main event of main events, the WWE Universal Championship match, Roman Reigns versus formerly Mr. Monster in the Bank, Braun Strowman in a Hell in a Cell match with Mr. Mick Foley as the special guest of the referee. Who do you have in this one?
well, Roman Reigns did raise the championship high above his head at the end of Raw. And usually that's a tell that you're not going to win. But this is Roman Reigns. And there you go. So congratulations, Joe.
Yeah, I'm going with Roman Reigns as well. I kind of found it interesting. We talk about Raw being what it was. Comical Mick Foley or WWE explaining with Mick Foley kind of promo of the storyline reason of why Mick Foley's going to be in this Hell in a Cell, like showing up at Steph's house and asked to be part of the show and all that other stuff. I was like, okay. Where in fact, I think the real reason Mick Foley's going to be part of the show and being in this Hell in a Cell match is because of the 20-year anniversary of him and the Undertaker's match. I kind of match Hell in a Cell match there. So, yeah, it's cool. He gets a spot on the card technically, but not in a match officially, and just being a referee. Fine. I don't think he'll be taking any bumps. So just going down the middle, maybe also being there, kind of remember like the Royal Rumble. Was it circa 2016 or whatever year that was? Reigns won with The Rock coming out and trying to get fanfare for Reigns. Maybe here with Mick Foley, fan favorite as well from the Attitude Era, raising Roman Reigns' hand, and that's the picture you get at the end of the show before it fades to black there with Mick Foley and the Roman Reigns, the big dog, Roman Reigns there, Universal Champion. So
yeah.
So that in the sense being the card. One thing I did want to bring up since we went to this whole card is the matches that are in Hell in a Cell against the matches that, as we see here, not in Hell in a Cell. And I am looking at this card, as much as maybe you might not agree, and others obviously might not agree, why don't we, at least for this year, maybe have all the matches in Hell in a Cell? Because Universal title, Reigns versus Braun, makes sense. WWE Championship, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, the blood feud there, makes heck of a lot of sense. Raw Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey, Alexa Bliss being in a Hell in a Cell match, Ronda Rousey being the badass that she is, keep Bliss's ass in the cell. Okay, fine, whatever. Even as a Bliss fan, okay, you get it. Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton in Hell in a Cell. SmackDown Women's title match, Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. Their feud of awesome. This has been built up to this show. It makes sense to have them in Hell in a Cell. Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus the Miz and Maurice. Maybe not so much for Brie, but Daniel Bryan, Miz and Maurice, have them in Hell in a Cell. Raw Tag Team Championship match, The Shield versus Ziggler and McIntyre. Makes sense to have that one in Hell in a Cell, not just because of the build to it, but the superstars you have.
Since they love doing first time evers, why not do it your way? For the first time ever, all the matches will be inside Hell in a Cell.
Yep, and then the last but not least, SmackDown Tag Team titles, New Day, Rusev Day, Hell in a Cell. So I think that would have make the most sense if you didn't, otherwise than the ones that you actually picked. So what do you think on that way, or which ones would you have had in Hell in a Cell, or ones that maybe you would have taken out of that are going to be in Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, the Ronda Rousey match doesn't need to be in Hell in a Cell. The Tag Team Championships for SmackDown doesn't need to be in Hell in a Cell. That could be on SmackDown. It's not really a big deal. Yeah, the other ones are pretty legit to be inside Hell in a Cell. Hardy and Orton have a serious thing going on between them. I think that deserves to be in the Hella structure. I don't think the main championship, with Roman and Strowman, I don't think that needs to be in Hell in a Cell, because even though they have a blood feud going back many years per se, I'm not finished with you. It's just 1 month of a build up when it comes to going into that championship match. I guess you can keep it in there because of the Dogs of War versus the Hounds of Justice thing that could be going on between them. So if you want to put in there, it's not really a big deal. But other than that, the other match on the show there could be in Hell in a Cell. Just none of the tag team matches that are for championships, none of them. But everything else is fine.
All right.
What do you think?
No, I like that. I mean, like I said, I like my own idea there with all of them being in Hell in a Cell. But what you ran through there made sense too, right? Some of the matches really don't have to be. But if we are going to have most of them, then and in that scenario, and being in Hell in a Cell, then why not then just have them all? Whether a feud or a match maybe truly doesn't need it or deserve it. I'm thinking, okay, if you're having over 60 or 70% of this card in Hell in a Cell, then let's just do it with all of them. Then why not? So sort of thinking there. Though I do like your idea. I just think that if we're gonna then have it that many, then just have them all for a first time ever or pay-per-view ever thing for Hell in a Cell with his own namesake. Have them all be there. The cage is going to be there anyway. So above them, for the ones that aren't in the matches, in those type of matches, they're on Sunday night. So that concludes for the prediction portion. One last news or thing to speak of is with these heel turns, and specifically with Braun Strowman, Becky Lynch, and Shinsuke Nakamura. I with Shinsuke Nakamura really, to be honest, caring less. But with Becky Lynch, I really enjoyed it and really am glad that they have stuck with it and her to actually be a full-fledged heel, and that being confirmed for sure. If it wasn't the weeks before, this past Tuesday on SmackDown Live, then you have Braun Strowman now being with Gods of War, I guess the name of their team there, or at least the tag team, with Ziggler McIntyre.
Excuse me.
His own right. So I would think the one I'm most looking forward to and enjoying is Becky Lynch as a heel, and that's the one that I'm certainly going to be looking forward to with their match with Claire and otherwise.
Ever since WrestleMania, they've had heel turn fever. You got Nakamura, then all of a sudden you had Becky Lynch at SummerSlam, the next big show, and then you had Braun Strowman, I think the Monday Night Raw afterwards. So they've been turning people heel, except for the people that deserve to be turned heel, like a certain Samoan and a certain glorious person. So why do you think they keep switching these people heel who are selling good merchandise and getting good fan reactions, and not the stale people who need a turn?
Oh, that's a good question, deep thinker kind of question there. But just off the top of my mug or top of my skull here, my thinking here of why they would do that and why that's the case, specifically for Becky Lynch, I think in a sense, at least to me, and watching her, even though yes, she's over, but to me as a fan and watching Becky Lynch for the last couple of months, she seemed stale. And she seemed like she needed this change. And it seemed like she needed that injection of something to get me individually to care about her. I mean, yes, she's over and was and this and that for, general overall people. But for me individually, this heel turn is really making me care about Becky Lynch and, wanting her to win, which is not what you should have with a heel, but still just for me individually. And with Braun Strowman and Shinsuke Nakamura, I think with Braun Strowman, it was just, okay, we need Braun, or they're thinking of we need Braun to be a heel. Roman Reigns is going to be the face. We don't want to have just two faces facing off at Hell in a Cell or at any point. He's the briefcase holder, but he won the briefcase as a face. And most of our faces have actually unsuccessfully cashed in. So, okay, so it seems like he is going to unsuccessfully cash in, but now he's a heel. So he'll technically be the first heel. Since he was as a heel when he cashes in, to unsuccessfully cash in the bank, Money in the Bank briefcase. I from the jump thought and still think that Kevin Owens should have won that briefcase originally at Money in the Bank, but revisionist history there. And then with Shinsuke Nakamura, they just why not? Really? Because to me, I think it would have been better for Shinsuke to stay as a face and not be a heel. Because as a heel, again, for me, I haven't really not sold on it. But again, the one that I'm most treating like is the Becky Lynch one. Now, why are they doing that over with a Bobby Roode or Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns, unfortunately, he's going to be like a John Cena, never turning heel unless absolutely have to. And with Bobby Roode, I think that's where it's going with this tag team thing. And I think he's going to at one point turn, and he's going to turn heel whenever that be, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, whatever and wherever. So I think that's going to happen. He'll be on that list of heel turns, just not right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that's just how Steve sees it. So certainly going to be interesting, and I'm certainly going to look forward to whenever that does happen, because then again, as I talked about with me individually with Becky Lynch, give me that personal injection of caring for Bobby Roode again, right? And enjoying his stuff. Yes, I'm sure his theme will change and this and that because he is a heel at that point, but still going to be happy for him because maybe he'll definitely then get a push, get title opportunities, be on the show more often on Raw. Fans to care about him again, and I'm sure many of the fans will be turning to not only just care about him, but be a fan of his because in their eyes and others that he should be a heel and been wanting it. And it seems like WWE, in a sense, with whether it's Bobby Roode or anybody else, that if you want one thing, either A, they're not going to do it ever, or B, they're going to make you get to that point, like that line, as some people say, of caring so much that they're almost not going to care anymore, and then they'll do it. And then it's going to be like right before you get to that, invisible line or metaphoric line there, and then that superstar that people have been talking about wanting to and should be a heel, then they're going to be a heel. So either that happens or it never or doesn't happen when it should happen, sort of thing. So either those spectrums I see for most of superstars of heel turns and otherwise. Then you got Nia Jax just pretty much being like Big Show and heel face turns all the time. So that's just her own category there for her. But for the others, yeah, I think that's where it's going with Bobby Roode, with a heel turn and otherwise, like Roman Reigns, I don't think it's going to happen. But Bobby Roode, I think at some point in the future he'll be a heel himself. That's going to be interesting to see when it happens, how it happens, and how he's packaged moving forward from that point as heel Bobby Roode.
What do you think is going to happen with the group formerly known as Absolution? Do you think they'll be of any worth by the end of the year?
Now, here's an idea. You want them to have worth. You want people to care about them again. Paige, circumstance can't us anymore. Can't really truly have this Absolution team, but they're still together. Maybe they'll change the name. Maybe it'll stay. I don't really care on that sense of it, on that part of it. But if you want them to be something, you want the fans to care about them as I want to, because I enjoy both of them immensely. Have them be, even over the Boston Connection, have those two be the first ever, or maybe chasing, whatever, but either the first ever women's tag team champions or chasing a team that is the first ever women's tag team champions, like either or, like have that be for them, for us.
What do you think about this? Think about this real quick there. Don't be so quick to answer.
Okay.
What do you think of a switch between Mandy Rose with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan with Mandy Rose's friend? I forget her name. The boxing chick.
Oh, Sonya Deville.
Yeah. Sonya Deville and Sarah Logan together instead of with Mandy Rose. So switch those tag teams. So we got Mandy and Liv and Sarah and Sonya.
First I'm thinking of it, visualizing it and seeing them coming out as their new teams. And as I'm visualizing it, as I'm seeing it, I think there's a reason why they were paired with who they were paired with originally, to have that drastic contrast in the sense of characters with each other, working well with Rose and Deville, being that, because if you have, to me, blonde bombshells together, as much as I am into blondes, but still.
They don't have that currently, by the way. They don't have that. A couple blondes together, they don't have that.
I know, but I'm just saying, just in the thinking of it overall, I don't think that would that as much as it could work, it is for me like I liked that two different. It's like two different characters you're having as a team that are working well together with each team. So then to change it and have, whether it's blonde bombshells or whatever, the other team would be, and otherwise, like, I think as cool as that would be for me individually, as something new and as, a guy that's into blondes, that I think that like how the original was, because you have that two different things. I think for me, I like it the way that it was or is. Then the idea of of changing it to that. I mean, I wouldn't hate it, but I just think it would be better, and I think the success would be greater for the teams if they stay the way they are because of that economy with with those superstars together that they are, especially Rose and Deville, right? You know, you have that boxing chick and Avancha there together, and how that seems like, oh, that shouldn't work because it's just two different people sort of thing, in characters and personalities, but it works and they make it work and they make it work well to me. So I think that's, you know, it's also a thing of not needing to change don't change something that doesn't need to be fixed, right? You know, it's not broken, sort of thing, at least to me, you know, that I'm liking how they are and going together and getting a flow. Yeah, maybe it didn't start off with the greatest, even when Paige was there. You know, they seemed like they're nervous there on that first Raw. You know, they really shouldn't have put them on the mic at all during that segment, that they were. But, you know, they've gotten better, more, you know, gelling together better together as a team, wrestling in the ring, promos, entrance, you know, the little things, the big things, you know, and otherwise. So that's, you know, I know I did think about it a little bit, but, you know, that's just how I guess that's how I see it and think about it, of that, if that was to happen. So if they were a Blanc tag team, I would certainly want to get a poster of that.
What about led by her? I sent you something right now via Twitter. What if they were led by her?
Yeah, let me get to that.
Yeah, this was on Impact a few minutes ago. Very nice reveal of the Smoke Show. She literally appeared behind mists and exploded onto the scene.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, if led by her, yeah, that would certainly be that'd be cool.
Yeah, man. You gotta see. Please, you said you've seen Impact. See the whole episode. See this part. Wait until you see how she puts her hands in very naughty places. I'll put it that way. The way she like looks up at them with the doe eyes and everything to get them to do what she wants. Ugh.
One was talking about naughty looks. I mean, just her sitting down in that top kind of.
She sits down naughty. She stands up naughty. I'm like, damn.
Some under boob there or whatever.
The under boob. Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, well, I'm like, this.
And hearing that gif there, when I first look at her and she looks at the actual camera after the smoke goes, and you just give that one look. Honestly, the first thing that came to my mind was Maurice. That looked like a Maurice face, a younger Maurice.
Then when she stands up,
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, there, just that one look there before she stands up there, giving you that look there.
Oh my god, I'm gonna send you some more of her. That this is I can see Maurice wearing this, but you'll see in a little bit there. I'm just wow. Got some. Oh, you like blondes, right? I got some shit to show you, man.
Yes, that is my cup of tea.
I got Mandy Rose, but like you've seen that before. I got Mela on here, but you've seen that before a million times, so you don't need to see that.
I've seen enough that I really didn't need to see it again. Even though, why not?
Okay, I'm sending it to you in about 10 seconds. Hold up a second, let me get that thing done. Can I do 2 in 1 or just 1, 2? Okay, there we go. And there you go.
There, exactly 10 seconds. Good job. Okay. I thought I liked how Summer Rae looked.
Oh, Summer Rae? Here you go. There you go. That's Summer Rae now. Here you go.
All right.
And here's what I've been floating around on Reddit. Got a lot of upvotes for booty appreciation. Yeah, there you go.
Was it Booty Appreciation Week? Yeah, they talk about that. Wait, no, never mind. Let's just see. Yeah, no, that's well, one's better than the other, but still.
And they've been arguing for that one. Which one you think is best?
Which one do you think I think is best?
Yeah, there is no losers here. I'll put it that way. there are no losers here. They definitely can do some tricks, but Stacey, but what's her name? Summer Rae gives me the Stacy Keibler vibe. The long legs with the cute butt. One of those vibes.
Yeah, well, that's who I was going to say being the winner there, the 4. But yeah.
Then I got to go second place. I got to go with Ivelisse. I mean, like, her ass is eating up those shorts. You know what I'm saying?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm like, damn.
I mean, Renee Young. I mean, she's great too. I remember she had that one photo shoot actually, or one true photo shoot there. I think it was Maurice or Summer Rae. I'm all back.
What do you think of Dana Brooke?
No, not really too much, I guess.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Yeah, I absolutely see Priscilla Kelly in Impact Wrestling. If for some stupid reason WWE doesn't pick her up, that'd be really stupid. And here, you know, Priscilla Kelly is.
Yeah, I've actually learned more about her actually in the last couple of weeks with
she's
other people about her.
That's her. I'll send it to you. That's she's from Evolve Wrestling. I put up a new video on my other channel, Outside the Bubble, of a great match between Shane Strickland and his former student, and she's part of the match. And after the match is over, the guy she's with tells her to know her place and get behind him. I'm like, oh, she was pissed. She was pissed. I recorded all that shit there. I was like, oh my god. She was all happy. She was all happy he won, and I was like, did I fucking hear that in this year, this fucking century? Not even in the 90s you can get away with that shit there. Barely, no, not even the 80s. Not 70. I wasn't around the 70s. 80s. No, you can't get away with that. It was funny. It was a joke in the 80s. But like in the 60s or 50s or whatever, from what I hear, they took it seriously. So like when he said that to her, she got pissed. She's like looking him up and down, and she's like she had the belt in her hand, and she was about to hit him with it. Oh man.
Dang. Yeah, well, there you go.
Well, you got some material to look at tonight, so you're good.
I'm good to go. But anyways, I think we're also good to go here for this episode. We're talking about WWE, other things here as well. But thanks to all that watch live, those that will be watching archive. I guess, Clackman, welcome to let them know where to find you here on YouTube and social media as well.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at ClackOff and on YouTube, ClackMan. And the highlight channel, it's Outside the Bubble, where I do highlights of cool wrestling that are not on WWE TV for you to enjoy.
All right, and for me, you're welcome to follow me on Twitter at Army_Strong_06, which is my personal handle, or for the show at the Ramble_WWE. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, like the video, share it, and otherwise I greatly appreciate it. And if you do so, also welcome to let me know that you did. I'll then leave you a shout out next week's episode, specifically whether you have a YouTube channel or just your Twitter handle. So I always greatly appreciate that when people leave comments, when people do share things, share my Raw and SmackDown Insta polls. There you go. Raw and SmackDown Insta polls each and every week that I do right after the show, and others I tweet out. So I greatly appreciate those that have contributed in that way. Hope you all have a great rest of your evening, your day, and otherwise. And I will be back on Sunday. I'll be back on Sunday after the pay-per-view might be a quick one, might be a short one, depending on if others are here. Quick or short review, or long and fun review of WWE Hell in a Cell. No reactions to any of the matches. I have other things going on after Sunday night as well, along with watching the pay-per-view, so I won't be able to stay focused if I am doing a live reaction to even a match, let alone the entire show. So no reactions for this month, just my review after the show, whether again with people or not. And we'll be doing that. And then back Thursday, my regular review with either the same ones or ones that didn't make it for Sunday night. So I will see you then again Sunday night after the pay-per-view, probably 10 to 15 minutes after it does go off the air, going live, and talking about everything that happened, good, bad, and ugly as well. So again, for Clarkman and for myself, I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
I gave you 4 more pictures in your Twitter, so enjoy that.
Okay. And above all else, as always, take care.